The air here is heavy, thick with humidity and the scent of salt and dry earth. We are standing on the edge of the world as we know it, stepping back into a prehistoric timeline that evolution forgot to erase. This is Indonesia's Lesser Sunda Islands. Specifically, we are entering the realm of Komodo National Park. The landscape itself looks ancient, ragged volcanic hills rising violently from the sapphire embrace of the Flores Sea. It is a harsh, unforgiving paradise, baked by an equatorial sun that bleaches the driftwood and cracks the soil. But this stark terrain is deceptive. It is not empty. It is ruled by a king that has reigned here for millions of years. We are walking quietly now. The rangers, armed only with forked wooden sticks, signal for absolute silence. The dry leaves crunch underfoot, sounding like thunder in the tension of the moment. Then we see it. A shadow moving in the underbrush, a low, rhythmic hissing. It emerges from the shade of a tamarind tree, the Varanus comodensis, the Komodo Dragon. It is massive, a 3-meter-long armored tank of muscle and scale, weighing over 90 kilograms. This isn't a relic. It is an apex predator at the height of its power. Watch closely as it pauses. That long, yellow, forked tongue flicks in and out of its mouth. It's not taunting us. It's tasting us. The dragon is utilizing its Jacobson's organ, analyzing scent particles from the air to build a 3-dimensional map of its surroundings. It can smell death, or the potential for it, from over 9 kilometers away. The creature turns its head, fixing a cold, prehistoric gaze on the camera. Its walk is a swagger, a confident, lumbering gait that belies its ability to explode into a 20-kilometer-per-hour sprint instantly. Let's get closer, safely, to understand the biology of this killing machine. For decades, scientists believed it was toxic bacteria in their mouths that killed their prey. We now know that truth is far more sinister. Embedded in the lower jaw are complex venom glands. When the dragon bites, it doesn't just crush bone with serrated shark-like teeth. It injects a hemotoxic venom that prevents blood clotting and induces shock. It is a weapon designed for patience. A dragon can bite a water buffalo once and simply wait for days as the giant beast weakens. But the dragon isn't the only life here. The ecosystem relies on a delicate balance. We see a Timor deer grazing nervously near the tree line. They are the primary food source, constantly on edge, their survival dependent on agility. The dynamic here is a constant silent war between the ambush predator and the alert prey. However, to truly understand the Komodo archipelago, we must leave the land. The dragons rule the islands, but the currents rule the park. We board our boat and push out into the incredible turquoise expanse. The contrast is jarring. We leave the dusty browns of Rinca Island for the shockingly vibrant pink beach on Komodo Island. The sand gets its hue from crushed red organ pipe coral mixing with white calcium carbonate. It looks like a dreamscape, but it marks the gateway to one of the most biodiversity-rich marine environments on the planet. We submerge. The silence of the surface is replaced by the crackling energy of the coral reef. This is the heart of the coral triangle. The currents here are fierce, acting as a nutrient superhighway that feeds a kaleidoscopic explosion of life. Soft corals sway in the rip, and clouds of anthias pulse like a living heartbeat. And here, deep in the blue, we find the dragons of the sea. At Manta Point, the giants appear. Reef mantas, with wingspans reaching 4 meters, glide effortlessly against the strong current. They are filter feeders, the gentle antithesis to the land dragons we just left. They circle us, curious and intelligent. We are witnessing a cleaning station, a vital social hub where mantas hover while small, cleaner wrasses pick parasites off their skin. It is a moment of symbiosis in a sea of competition. Drifting further along the reef wall, we encounter another ancient mariner. A hawksbill turtle crunches on a sponge. These reptiles have navigated these oceans since the time of the dinosaurs, much like the Komodos on land. But unlike the dragons, they are vulnerable here. The park serves as a critical sanctuary, protecting them from poaching and habitat loss. A blacktip reef shark patrols the perimeter. It moves with a lethal grace, a reminder that the ocean too has its predators. The food web here is dense, from the microscopic plankton feeding the mantas to the sharks culling the weak. Every layer of this ecosystem is interlocking. We surface, gasping for air, the heat of the afternoon hitting us instantly. We head back to land, this time to a different sector of the park. The heat haze shimmers off the ground. It is the hottest part of the day, yet life persists. We are looking for something rarely seen. The next generation. Survival for a baby dragon is a nightmare. We spot a juvenile, barely a foot long, clinging to the high branches of a tree. This is an arboreal life, born of necessity. Adult dragons are cannibals. If this little one touches the ground, it will likely be eaten by its own kin. It will stay in the canopy for years, feeding on geckos and insects, until it is large enough to claim its place on the forest floor. It is a brutal evolutionary filter that ensures only the strongest genes survive. On the ground below, the hierarchy is being tested. Two large males are engaging in a dominance struggle. They rise up on their hind legs, grappling like sumo wrestlers. It is a silent, heavy clash of bodies, tails acting as tripods. They're fighting for territory, and with it, the right to mate. The victor slams the other to the dust. The loser retreats. There is no sympathy in the wild. As the afternoon wears on, we come across a scene of raw nature. A water buffalo stands knee-deep in a mud wallow, surrounded by 3 dragons. The buffalo is old, scarred. The dragons are not attacking. They are waiting. They are watching. Their patience is perhaps their most terrifying trait. They know the heat and the mud will eventually exhaust their target. It is a slow-motion hunt that captures the essence of this island, endurance. The sun begins to dip low, casting a golden fire across the savannah. The rugged hills glow in amber and violet. The day shift is ending, but the park has one final spectacle to reveal. We position our boat near the mangrove forests of Kalong Island. The water is calm, turning to liquid metal in the twilight. Silence falls over the boat. Then a screech, then another. From the mangroves they rise, not birds, but mammals. Pteropocus vampirus, the large flying fox. These are fruit bats with wingspans of nearly 2 meters. Suddenly, the sky turns black. Thousands upon thousands of them erupt from the trees in a chaotic, swirling river of wings. They are commuting, heading to the main islands to feed on fruit under the cover of darkness. The sound of their wings flapping is like the wind in a sail. It is a migration that happens every single evening, a pulse of life that connects the islands. As the bats stream overhead, crossing the moon, we look back at the dark silhouette of Rinca Island. Somewhere in that darkness, the dragon sleeps, or perhaps it hunts. This place, Komodo National Park, is a window into a world that shouldn't exist anymore. It is savage, beautiful, and completely untamed. From the venomous bite of the dragon to the graceful sweep of the manta ray, this is a land of monsters and miracles, and it is undoubtedly one of the last true wild frontiers left on Earth.